don't know really what I'm doing, but I'm going to cover it with filler and paint. So it's sort of running and driving all right. I could do the rebuilding the front left caliper now. I've done the front right one, I feel like. I don't know, it's just bugging me that I haven't done both now, even though it seems to brake fine and drive nice. So I will get around to that. I mean, to put another fuel filter on it, and maybe even you need to just adjust on the outlet pipe on the tank. I think it's leaking ever so slightly, so we put a bit of putty around that. But I thought I'd start working on cosmetics a little bit. We had a little go at how much it will buff up, and as you can see, I think it will buff up quite nicely. We also kind of buffed this area and shined this and see if this would shine up, and it did. Hopefully you can see it shiny, and then it's dull. Shiny, and then it's dull. And we shined on this chrome centre, and that looks lovely. I mean, the other ones don't look bad, but you can see there's bits of muck and stuff on them. It does make a difference. So we've got booked in Dave from Perfectly Polished. He's done some work for me. He's a good friend of mine. He's going to come and continue machine polishing. Quick buff up, basically. It's quite a powdery paint, but I think it will come up really quickly, really nicely. The previous owner had a bit of a go on this side of the bonnet, and you can kind of see clearly there's a difference. And I did things like polish out the rust stains there, and polish the edge of that bumper. I think it would come up really nice just with a polish, and then I'll see if I can get this filled and just blown in gently. I think that's kind of letting the front side down. And I'll use a bit of touch-up paint on that spot there. If the other spots need some touch-up paint, which I've got, well, I got some, and it arrived, and it was more like, well, green. So I've ordered another one from a different company. Hopefully it'll be better. And we'll just touch up the little tiny spots. Makes a huge difference. But obviously this rear issue, this, colour, brown, not great. I'm going to try and attack some of it myself. Quotes I've been getting kind of put this out of range of being repaired. So let's have a go. First thing I'm going to do, as there's no one here today, it makes a heck of a noise, is I'm going to grind all this back with some of these wheels, hoover it all out, and then apply some rust sealer, rust converter stuff. And that'll be a good start, just to prevent this boot from getting any further. And then I'm also going to hopefully try and get the bumper off the lights and the number plate, just polish that up and rust convert the areas that are rusty. That's a good start. That will stop or prevent it getting any worse. While I then first thing I'm going to try and do is source a boot. If I can find a boot that's, better than this, because it's gone through the outer panel and it's going to go into the inner panel, that's probably the most difficult bit to repair in my opinion, because it will show the most. Like, I can repair along the edge here and around there. Once I've painted it myself and put a new boot trim on it, you're not really going to see the repairs. But this edge here is going to be really obvious. So, see if I can find a boot. Ian Kirkwood from Club Peugeot is helping me do that, which will be useful, because I need one. Or that is going to be a body shop job, and that's going to be the cost of things. So, let's do the things I just said. I'll show the difference, just the back here, just what it makes a difference. Just getting rid of the rust stains and clearing it all up. Hopefully it'll just look tidier straight away, even if I don't repair the rust immediately. Well, that escalated a little bit, but I realised that the back here, I'll tell you what, it does actually look quite cool without bumpers. Rally spec. Took the bumper off. That wasn't actually too bad. None of the bolts snapped or anything or seized. There's 2 bolts per side basically, and then all the back, and then one per side that holds some rubber bung thing on. As I further take this apart, I am staggered that it just comes apart. This was just screwed on, so little screws, and only 2 were ground off, the others just came undone. This is undamaged. I mean, it's got a little bit of scabbiness there, but this will just polish up clean. So that's why I wanted to take it off out of the way, because if you get like the rust stuff on it, as I got a little bit here, it's really a pig to try and get off the paintwork. And it will give me access to properly repair that side. And this side is a bit thin, and we'll want a little plate just popped up in there. The boot itself wants a plate there, and that's that same spot there. And all this is because I think it was left open or exposed somewhere in a shed for years. The damp's got in here, sat in here, and just sat and rotted down. And then rotted that and rotted all of this. Such a shame. Right. Let's get repairing. Right, folks, you might detect that she's running a bit better. A few things done. One, new fuel filter, I'll show you that in a second. Two, a few of you noticed, particularly Darren Lobb was like, mate, the jet, something's blocked, that's not running quite right. You just heard it. Amazing. So we stripped the carburettor down today. We found a couple of issues. One, it was filthy inside, and two, there was a gasket leaking, definitely a vacuum. This is the state of the fuel filter. So it was trying to pull or push or whatever, but that's what it was there for, picking up all the crud out of the lines in the tank. So we'll just rotate, not put that one back in, but we'll get another one. They're only a couple of quid. Gasket that was leaking, so we replaced that with a piece of card, cut our own one up, cleaned out all the crud in the carburettor, and not only is she driving better, she's much responsive. But she does still stick a bit on the throttle, so I need to fix that. So not quite sure why she does that. I've cleaned out the throttle cable twice now. She still sometimes gets stuck on the throttle and won't return, but that will return fine. So yeah, nearly there. We can just get that return nice, and she'll be absolutely pucker. But she starts better, drives, just sounds better, generally happier. So we'll finish the work on the back soon, maybe one day, and then go and drive it, because that needs sorting out. Okay everyone, so Dave from Perfectly Polished has done a fantastic job. He's done exactly what I asked him to do, but don't judge him. He's done exactly what I've asked him to do, but he could have got this mirror finish, you know, but it's shiny. The shine is back, and if you remember before, it was just matte. It was like a matte finish other than that side of the bonnet, and it looks just brilliant. Looks exactly as I would have expected it to come out of the showroom. They wouldn't have had it absolutely mirror finish. That's just not how they did the things then. The chrome, however, would have looked perfect. So I need to work on the chrome, and there's a couple of little things that's letting it down, namely those. We've got a wing. The guy who I bought this off has got connections in France, and he's found a chap who's got perfectly good condition wing, no rust on it at all, which might be a better idea because then the paint would be the same age and would match better. That's the solution. We have a boot hopefully on its way. Going to just make a phone call in a minute about that. Not painted, so that needs to be painted in with the back section. We'll fit that chrome trim soon. But today, just to help things along, that is not good. We have a solution. So let's rip this off and see if my solution's going to work. And there we go. Doesn't that look so much better? We hopefully got a majority of the old telltale marks, which were pretty severe initially. Big black square. There's a few little bits left, but it's not so bad. Looks pretty good. And overall, so much better. Okay, little update. Things again escalated. It's always easier just to take the boot lid off. Hopefully, I've paid for one, coming from Peugeot parts. The Dean Hunter guy, not the brand new place down the road that's a dealership that doesn't care about these. He's got a new boot on the way for me. Obviously I paid him, but he's sent it. That will get painted at Mickey Kellett's, hopefully. This I'm going to try and do myself. Basically it's just going to be the lip to be painted, and the floor I'm probably going to do in some sort of cream hammerite or something, harder wearing, and just roll it in, and then there's going to be the matting going inside. And then just, you can see there's a seam there and a seam there, so we'll mask off all the way around, mask off the inner boot, and then just paint all that myself in here, get it nice and warm, get some plastic cover in. So we're sort of 50% there, I suppose, with the welding. I'm making out this is going to be a bigger job than I think it will be. I've done the tricky lips all the way along and along there, and there was a little hole here. So all that remains to do is going to have to cut this section out, cut that section out, and we've got this steel to go in, ready folded for me. I'm just going to watch the contours because this is bent a bit, which you can see. If I pull it, it straightens, so I've got to get that straight. And then there'll be a new boot seal, and I might even add a seal that just hooks on over this, more modern type, so it doubles that up, because obviously there must be an issue because it's been leaking. And then new boot painted. Hopefully got a wing coming from France. But that's it for today. All the grinding noises have been done for one day. I'm done with them. With an earplugs in, it's enough, and your hands just start doing this. So that's the update. I'll come back round and update you once I've done this bit of welding here. Winning! Well, it's we're at that point where it's at its worst, kind of before it starts getting better. So we've welded in new lip along there. There was a big hole there that had rusted through because the water sat in the bottom of the boot. Same problem there, basically. It all rotten on the corners where the water had sat from getting in. And then we've welded a new lip along the most of that. A little bit of welding there, and then most of the section there is new as well, the lip. The seals are on the way from France, so now it's time to get the lights out, mask off the area, sand it all down, treat all the rusted areas, etch prime it, galvanise prime it, and then start laying some paint on it. Well, filler actually. This area and this area most of all need a bit of filler, and then just kind of a skim along that edge and a skim along that bottom edge where obviously you've ground in places, and I don't know really what I'm doing, but I'm going to cover it with filler and paint. So we'll just a little bit of filler there along that front lip, and in one or two spots just where the welds weren't very nicely finished, I suppose. And then we'll fill, and then prime, and then paint, and then not that boot, but another boot, clunk, on, ready painted from Mickey. So while we've got the hopefully the last sections of filler, other than two, some fine filler done and drying, going hard, I thought I'd work out what was going along here. So we've got some new seals, which is cool. Oh, that's in the box over here. Nice new door seals and boot seal, because that was rotten. Because someone decided that this was okay. Let me tell you, it's not okay. It's not okay to use what looks like road bitumen with some string in it. I just don't understand where the logic was on that. So I'm going to try and get some of it off without heat, because the heat makes it kind of stickier. Almost need dry ice. And then I guess just copious amounts of brake clean to clean it up. Oh, what a fun afternoon this will be. Yeah. Some sort of progress made while waiting for filler and stuff to dry. We've managed to bend this back into a shape. It was kind of like that, and now it's kind of like that. And new clips. It's held on. It makes a heck of a difference, I have to admit. And we've polished up this area here, which I'd put crust on, and some areas there and on the bottom edge, so they're kind of looking better. The tape is because we put a new door seal on, and I've shut that now. Hopefully that'll dry within a couple of days. But even with all the masking tape and everything, it's so nice to have that chrome strip just carrying on along. So that's cool. As far as the rear is concerned, it's been a nightmare from when I started. I knew it would be. But the bottom edge is all stone chipped now, so that's ready for paint. And this top area needs one more stand over with 400 and 600, and then we'll attack it with some paint, I think. Obviously I need to prime along that bottom edge, so I think I'm going to attack this with 320, prime the whole area, and then 400, 600, and then throw some paint on it and be done with it. Hopefully the boot is being painted too. We'll see. If not, we'll chuck that one on for now. Yeah. And then we've got the whole boot floor to do, and the whole inside to clean, and a billion other things I want to do on it. Anyway, we're getting there. So it's at that stage in a project where you're just like, I've got to make it run and drive. Doesn't matter how it looks. Doesn't matter the fact that half of it is mint green, and the other half is an off-white. That's fine. We just have to carry on. Doesn't matter the fact that all this hard work that went into the paintwork actually paid off, because it's a really, really nice finish. I mean, that's the best finish I've ever got straight out of the can. I've not polished that. That is just how it is. Fantastic finish. So great paint, terrible colour. I can only presume the person that mixed this is colourblind and can't read paint codes. So frustrating. Unfortunately, a bit of this is flaked off as well on the masking tape, and we can touch that up after some treatment. But so annoying. I did get the side door trim on there. That does make a difference. But yeah, and the boot isn't ready, the new one being painted, so we're going to have to put that on. So it's going to look absolutely, it's probably going to look worse than it did before, to be honest, for the shows that are coming up now that I was getting this ready for. So that really sucks. So I guess it's time for a mega update.